slideshow?
Yes. Mm-mm.
Okay. So again, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. I am Nonel Bautista. So I am one of the senior managers at Accenture. Okay. I've been with Accenture for 15 years already. So after being in the academy for 7 years. So my current role, I am the capability lead of the testing group in Accenture Philippines. Okay. So we are one of the biggest capability in Accenture. Okay, so for this afternoon, I am part of the quality engineering or the testing services. So for this afternoon, we will be focusing on test automation. Okay, so this is part of the technology webinar series that Accenture is partnering with your university. Okay, so for the agenda, we're going to discuss first what is software testing. Okay, I know some of you are CS or IT students. You might have been doing some testing work in your specific programming classes, but we will define what software testing is. Okay, and after that one, we will try to understand what is test automation. Okay, which is something that you can do in testing. Okay, and the last one is understanding what are the different automation tools that you can use. Okay, so first topic is what is software testing. Okay, we're going to go Google on what is software testing based on Wikipedia. It is basically an investigation wherein you have to conduct so that you will be able to provide the different stakeholders or the owners of the applications about the quality of the software. Okay, the objective is it should be an objective thing. It should be independent view of software. Okay, so there are several testing techniques that are being done in the application. But basically, if we're going to define what is software testing, it is really like looking at the quality of your software. Okay, finding the bugs, finding the defects. Okay, in your programming classes, usually when you do the basic program hello world, right, using Java or using C sharp or C++, okay, um, you need to test after doing your programming, your coding, you need to test the software. Okay, in the different applications that you're using, the games, the Mobile Legend games that you're playing. Okay, Facebook. Whenever you like go onto social media or Twitter or Instagram, these are different applications that we are able to use now, right? But before we were able to use it, okay, these were programmed by developers, and this was also tested by testers. Okay, so that is the job of the people that I work with in Accenture. Okay, we do not develop, okay, the programming applications. My group do not develop that one, but we are the ones who test those applications to ensure na what we get is correct, what we get is as expected. Okay, and if there is something wrong, if there is a defect, we give it back to the developers and ask the developers to fix that software. Okay, so that is software testing. Okay, in the manufacturing world, yung sa mga products na ginagawa, we do have a team there which is called QA, okay, or quality assurance. Okay, what they do there is they check for damaged products. Okay, so they reject the damaged products. Okay, the actual tangible thing. Okay, so that is similar to a software tester. Okay, what you do is find the defect, log it, and then ask them to fix it. Okay, so that is software testing. Okay, what is a day in a life of a quality engineer or a tester? Okay, so this is a pictographical view of if I am a tester, and I work at Accenture or any other company, okay? And what happens in between, okay? On the upper right, let me change my pointer laser, okay? So usually, if there is a new project or a new scope of work coming from our clients, okay, the client's testing head would work with our test managers, okay? These test managers would be able to provide the estimates, how much effort is it needed to be able to um, do all the testing work, and how are we going to test the applications. So the applications can either be a software, right, or a web application, or a an Android or iOS mobile application. Okay, so these test managers will now talk to the Accenture test leads. Okay, so this part here, and these Accenture test leads, we would be creating the different deliverables in testing. Okay, again, what the testing that we're doing in Accenture or in our company is not probably as simple as how you test your programming exercises in Java or C Sharp. Okay, what we have are large applications. Okay, so these test leads, we would need to create the test scenarios, the test conditions. We have to create the test scripts, and then we will also be doing the test execution and the test reporting. Okay, so after the test leads have written those different testing deliverables, you will now have your different functional testers on the different applications. Okay. So this is just an example. Like I can have functional manual testers doing the manual testing for application one offshore, meaning to say here in the Philippines, either in Manila or in Cebu, right? And I can have also my functional testers on site, meaning if the client is in the US or in Australia or in Japan, okay, or in Germany, I can have other testers there, right? Or I can also have a mix of on-site and offshore team working together as functional testers. And how are they connected? We have this maroon thing here, which is the application life management tool. Okay. This application life management tool is going to be the repository of all of this testing deliverables. And if we're going to look at the bottom here, the gray one, there is this group here, which is automation. Okay. This automation resources would be the one supporting all the different automation of all of these applications. Aside from that one, in testing, we also do some sort of performance testing. Okay. So to give you a background, like what is a functional tester? A functional tester just does the testing manually. For example, there is step one, open browser. So if I am the functional tester, I will open the browser manually, go to Open or Safari or Edge. Okay. And then step two, enter www.facebook. So I will be manually typing www.facebook.com as the URL, right? Step three, say enter username and password. Okay, and I will be doing like enter username and password, right? I will be entering the correct username and correct password. And then step four would say click login. And if I click login, the expected result or the expected behavior of the application is the Facebook homepage will load with your profile. So if I go manually click login, and then there is a page that differently loads, not the Facebook homepage, then that one is a threat So I have to raise that defect, and then that defect goes to the developer for them to fix. Right? So that's the job of a functional tester. Right? The automation tester, which is going to be the focus of our discussion today, is I will not be testing manually, but these automation testers are going to create and develop a code either in Java or in Visual Basic or whatever language which we will be discussing later on, and you will do magic. Okay? How? Because you don't need to manually enter www.facebook.com. You will not be manually entering username and password, but rather coding and developing that one. And just one click, it will automatically do your testing. Okay? So that's the work of an automation tester. A performance tester, on the other hand, is someone who checks on the performance of the application. For example, have you ever experienced wherein going to Facebook or any application or any website, and then what comes out is error page, like error not responding or page not responding. Okay? The reason is because probably it was not performance tested. Okay? For example, there are applications that can only handle 2,000 people logging in to that system. So if you are the 2001 person who logs in and every other else are still on that system, you will not be able to enter. Meaning to say, you can simulate that one, and that is called performance testing. Okay? You need to check what is the maximum number of users that can log in. Another is in performance testing, the things that they do is they try to simulate how many seconds does a page load. For example, if you go to a web page and click on search and then you enter the item to search and then click on go, okay? And it takes you like more than 5 seconds before the results come out, probably that's a defect, okay? Because if I am the client, if I am the client, I would like the search results to come up in 3 seconds. Okay, so that's performance testing. Okay, so those are the two different people who would be helping the functional testers. For tonight, for this afternoon, our focus will only be in test automation. So I needed to let you understand what testing is before we move on specifically to automation testing. Okay, so what is test automation? Okay, it is basically trying to test your system to run consistently and unattended. Okay, it's like you're going to develop a program wherein it will test your applications. Okay, unattendedly, you just execute that one, and it should tell you if the application is passed or failed. Okay, so how do we do that one? So if you're going to look here, we usually do a proof of concept. What is proof of concept? Proof of concept in layman's terms, ito yung try. I-try lang muna natin. Okay? So I may have an automation tool, and then I'll try if that automation tool will work with your application. Okay, so how do we do that one? So if a project goes to Accenture, okay, to us, so I do have a group which is the Automation Center of Excellence. Okay, so the Automation Center of Excellence is a group of, I call them Autobots. Okay, so they are not the Transformer Autobots, but I call them the Autobots because what they do is they develop automated test cases. Okay, so a project goes to us and then they ask us, Nonel, can you automate our testing? Okay, so I will have this automation SMEs or subject matter experts. Okay, and we give them the proof of concept. Okay, we try to automate their applications using our tool. So that's like a proof of concept. And then if the proof of concept is good, okay, the results are good, meaning to say the tool will work on automating the testing of their application, then we pursue the automated testing. Okay, so that's basically test automation. Okay, why should we do test automation? Okay, the reason why we wanted to do test automation is because there are three ways it can help you. Okay, it can reduce the overall test execution effort by 20 to 40%. Okay, so for example, you are developing your statistics, you are developing your project. Okay, but probably the projects are small in the university setting, right? So ite-test nyo araw-araw. Every day you're going to test the system that you develop. Okay? So you will have one tester in part in your group, and he will be testing that one every day for like 2 hours. So because he's doing it manually. Okay? But if we're going to do test automation, it's going to reduce the effort by 20 to 40%. So instead of him testing it 2 hours to 4 hours, probably it will just take him 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, to automate after automation. Okay, it can also shorten the test cycle duration by 50 to 75%. So the reason why it will shorten the testing work, it's because you're able to, as mentioned in number one, you're able to test quicker, right? You're able to find out the defects earlier. Therefore, your developers can fix the error or the bug, and then it will shorten your cycle duration in testing. And the good benefit of that one is because shorter cycle duration, meaning the earlier that I can go live with the project, the earlier that I can bring out that in the project. Okay. And also, number three, the good thing is because it is running unattended, nagra-run lang on the background yung test automation mo. Okay. This would redirect the QA resources that they can do other high value testing activities. Okay, so these are the three key ways. So if this is going to be related to your real life application, so for example, Instagram, okay, so if there will be, yung nakikita nyo, di ba, sa Facebook, parang ngayon meron na naman there's a new feature of Facebook, right? In stories, you can add music and all. So before that was put in by Facebook in your mobile phones, before you were able to like download that one, that was tested, right? If there's a new feature that Facebook wants, di ba, parang there are times wherein you will go to sleep in the morning, you will see that Facebook has this new thing again. Facebook has a new feature again, right? And you didn't like quite really understand how it happened, right? But on the background, they were like testing it quickly, okay, through test automation, okay? So what are the additional benefits when you do test automation? Okay, of course, it will reduce the testing cost. When you automate something, okay, it will reduce the effort. Of course, if it reduces the effort, it will reduce the cost. Okay. Two, it will increase the test coverage. Because of automation, you're able to test everything, right? You're able to test more with smaller number of hours. Okay. Third, it can reduce the test data management. When you're doing your uh, projects in your programming classes, right? There is test data that you have to prepare. Right? So you have to enter sample test data. So in our projects, you can use test automation to prepare those test data on the background automatically, right? So that it would be able to help reduce your cost also. Okay. And lastly, it can help support different testing and production environments. Okay. So those are different key tests, key benefits of test automation. Okay. So when do you do the test automation? I think you're familiar with this V model, right? If you're IT students, if you're CS students, you're familiar with plan, analyze, design, build, test, and deploy, right? So when can we do the automation? Okay, you have to plan the automation testing strategy during the beginning of the requirements. Okay, during the planning analysis, even if you're just planning for the application design, okay, or the application or the program that you will be developing, you should already be thinking about your automation strategy. Okay, and then you can build the proof of concept during the test phase or the build phase. Okay, so I think you're familiar with this one. So requirements, the verify here are the test things. So there are different types of testing. Probably in your school or universities, the things that you're really hearing or learning is just white box testing, black box testing, right? In the real world, okay, when you do the V model, like on a waterfall, okay, this thing here, component test, that is similar to your unit testing, okay? Assembly test, this is similar to your modular testing, okay? After that one, you can do performance testing, and then after that one is product testing or systems testing, okay, which may include integration testing, okay? And the next is user acceptance test, okay? User acceptance test, this means your end users are the one who's going to test already the application that you programmed or developed. And the last test here is the operational readiness test, right? Before you bring it out to the market, before they give you the games or the updated version of Mobile Legends or whatever game, that is being tested on an operational readiness test. Okay, so these are different types of testing that we have on the V model, and all of these areas can be automated so that you're going to have smaller number or smaller effort in terms of testing. Okay, what are the suitable areas for automation? It would be regression testing. Okay, so regression testing is something wherein you have a fixed set of scripts that you are executing every day or every week or every day. Okay, smoke test or just environment testing that can also be automated. Okay, non-GUI, the back end or the databases or the web services, you can also automate that one, but the potential return would only be moderate to high. Okay, the data creation, the automated data creation that can be done, but it's slow to moderate, and the new functionality testing is slow to moderate. Okay, so it is not suitable for automation, the new functionality testing, because uh, probably design is still changing on that one. It's still not stable. Okay, so that's when to do test automation. So what are the different testing challenges? Okay, when we are testing big applications, SAP, Oracle, Salesforce, so AWS, all of those things, okay, there is always an increasing test effort. Okay, there are new enhancement, new versions, product upgrades, there are new releases, there are new like developments, so it will increase the testing effort. Okay, another challenge is the quality issues. Okay, it's because one can integrate into several uh, applications. And if it's integrating to several applications, it may be a problem. For example, Facebook and Instagram, right? So before, Instagram has its own messaging facility. Facebook has its own messenger, right? Now you can like send somebody in Instagram, Facebook, right? And you can also have somebody from Facebook move to Instagram, right? So those things, those are integrating applications. And before that one is given, there is testing that happens there. And because these are two different things, the testing was going to be massive. It can be quality issues, right? So given these different challenges, okay, because there is increase in total cost, we need to reduce the coverage, we need to increase the burn rate. The solution is test automation. Okay, it impacts or it helps manage or avoid the impact of these issues, the effort and the quality issues. Okay? So what are the different success factors? Give me 1 minute, Luba. Okay, so what are the different automation success factors? Okay. First, you need to understand what should be automated. Okay, we do not automate testing. We do not automate test everything. Right? There are things that can be left non-automatable. Okay. So next is what are the typical pitfalls of automation? You need to understand why would an automation fail. Okay, probably because the tool is Java based, and I know some of you really love Java, right? So I personally love Java, but sometimes there are times when I don't love Java, but that can be a typical pitfall of automation because you don't know the programming language. Okay. Next is how do I measure actual benefit of the automation? Okay. Are the tools set up? Okay. What kind of test or QA organization will support the automation? What are the different skills that needs to make the automation successful? What is the ROI or the return on investment? Okay. And what will the impact automation have? Okay. So these are the different success factors that you need to understand. Okay. So now I think this is the thing that's going to be interesting to you. Okay. You can probably Google this automation tools that we are using. Okay. On an Accenture Philippines perspective, these are the top 5 test automation tools that you can probably explore. There are several YouTube videos also on these different tools. There are also tutorials on this one online that you can take on. Okay, but my objective now is just to explain to you the different tools. Okay, the first one here is Catalon Studio. So Catalon is the vendor. Studio is what they call their automation tool. Okay. The second one is Microfocus UFT or the Unified Functional Testing. So this one is created by Dati. Before it was HP. Now they named it Microfocus. So Microfocus UFT. The third one, which is the most popular because this one is Java-based programming. So Selenium. Okay, and this one's free. Okay, the next two things here, Tricentis Tosca and WorkSoft Certify. These are one of the latest, relatively new automation tools that we are using in most of our projects here in Accenture. And because the reason is because this one, it's scriptless. There's no programming in Tosca and in WorkSoft. Okay, to give you like a side-by-side comparison. Okay, so as you can see, Selenium here and Catalan, these are open source. When you use them, you can download them on the internet, right? You can download them online, and there's no license for that one, for Selenium and Catalan, and you can explore that tool. Okay, for Tosca, Worksoft, and UFT, these are licensed. Okay, but there are trial versions for Tosca and UFT. In Worksoft, there is no trial version, right? So you can explore Tricentis, Tosca, and UFT. Okay, so Selenium is coded. You need to really do. There is Selenium Java and Selenium C Sharp. Okay, so you can like do coding on that one, and it can help you automate your testing tool, your testing. Okay, and then codeless, Catalan Studio, Tricentis, Tosca, and Worksoft. This is codeless, meaning to say you just have to click, 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 and it will automatically create your automated test script. It's like recording, okay? And UFT here is a hybrid, meaning to say it has both coding and codeless part, okay? Selenium, on the other hand, is only okay for web-based applications. Okay? For Catalan, it is good for mobile and API testing. On the other hand, Tosca, Certify, and UFT, it's good for different cross-technology, say SAP, Oracle, even mainframe. So we still have mainframe, okay? There are still clients who are using mainframe, especially the banks, okay? All of the records are in the mainframe. Database, you can use Tosca Certified. Java, you can use Tosca Certified UFT. .NET, you can also use that one. Salesforce.com, I think this is really something good. You can do research on Salesforce.com. It's a really good new technology, mobile and API. Just an FYI, on Salesforce, remember niyo kapag there are some polls that are happening during elections, like how many are saying positive, negative, how many are saying positive from Manila, on Cebu, on US, on UAE. Salesforce has that analytics thing. Okay. So mobile and API. So we can also automate mobile applications. Okay. So whatever application that you have here, it can be tested. Okay. Using these different tools. You just have to either use an emulator or physically connect a machine wire to your automation tool. Okay, so this is very good because at least you will have a snapshot of what are the different tools that are out there if you're interested in doing test automation tool. Okay, so um, what are the things that you need to consider in choosing the right automation tool? Of course, you have to consider the costs of the automation, gaano siya kamahal, gaano siya kamura, ease of use, how is it easy to use, how is it difficult or complex to use, the technology and platform that it can automate, the reporting. Okay, reporting is very important because when you test something, remember when you have your programming languages exercises in the your laboratory exercises, right? Your teacher would always say like, can you produce the report? How many is passed? How many is like working? How many is not working? That's reporting, right? If you wanted to automate something, it should automatically create that report. Okay. And of course, the system requirements. So if there's going to be a side-by-side comparison of these tools, as you can see, so here's the legend. If it's hollow white, okay, that's low. And then until it goes to that blue thing on the lower right, I'm pointing at the legend, until it covers that one, that's the higher thing, okay? So for the cost of estimation, Selenium is the best option because it's, again, it's open source. It's free. Okay, walang bayad kapag ka-download nyo si Selenium online. Catalan Studio, this one is also open source, but there's this asterisk here, there's this 1/4 thing here, because the Catalan Studio has an extended version that you can buy. Okay, if you wanted to use other features. Kumbaga, it's free, but if you want this feature, additional feature that is not part of the free thing or the freeware, then you have to buy that one. Okay? Micro Focus and Worksoft Certify are mid in terms of the cost. But the most expensive is Tricentis Tosca. Okay? Tricentis Tosca is quite expensive. It's around 20,000 US dollars per person. So that's 1 million pesos per person. So that's quite expensive. Okay. Ease of use, as you can see, the easiest to use tools would be Catalan Studio and Tricentis Tosca. These are the two different automation tools that are easy to use. Um, Medium complexity, Worksoft Certify is also easy to use. Medium complexity is the hybrid Micro Focus UFT. Okay, Selenium has the highest complexity. Why? Because it's purely coding. Okay, sorry. Someone,
I think someone is on. Please unmute. I mean, mute yourself. Nonel, nakamute ka ha? Nakamute ka.
am I audible now?
Yeah, I can hear you. There's like a feedback.
Yeah. No. But am I audible? I'm feeling ko
Yeah,
na power up yung
yeah, we can we can hear you, but the feedback is stronger. Students, please make sure to mute yourself, please. Nonal, I'll just click mute all ha. Mute ka, mute ka din. Ayan. Ayan. Can you try unmuting yourself, Nonal?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. Right. Okay.
Sorry, I got distracted with that one. Okay, so if you're going to look here, in terms of the most complex would be Selenium because you need to code, and that's Java or C Sharp. Okay, technology or platform, the best option would be Tricentis Tosca. Reason is because Tricentis Tosca can automate everything. Java, SAP, Oracle, all of these things can be automated by Tosca. The least would be Selenium. That is the cheapest, but the drawback, Selenium can only automate web applications, nothing else, right? So it can be integrated, but it's just the web applications. If the application that you are testing is not web, if it's a desktop application, or it's mobile, or if it is Android or iOS, it cannot be used. Okay, reporting, the best would be everything except Selenium, because again, Selenium is open source. You have to create your own format. Okay, in terms of system requirements, no issues. It can be installed on any of your applications or any of your laptops. It wouldn't be requiring too much. But ideally, an 8 gig or a 4 gig RAM is needed for you to execute automated test cases. Okay. So here are the recommendations. Okay. So Catalon, it's good because it's free and it's included with the built-in framework, and it can automate web-based API and mobile testing. Okay. Again is also good. It's open source and it's only, but the only thing is it's only okay for your web applications. Okay. Worksoft Certify, it is no coding, scriptless, but if you're going to automate SAP GUI, Worksoft Certify will be the best option. Okay, because it is going to be focused primarily on SAP. Okay. Centis Tosca, this is a scriptless automation tool which is currently the hottest, although one of the most expensive, because it can automate more than 150 technologies, including Pega, including AWS Cloud, Google Cloud, etc. Like Tricentis Tosca is really working good. And Micro Focus UFT, it is okay if you already have the testing suite, the whole Microsoft Micro Focus products. Okay, so it's one of the oldest test automation. Okay, so oops, sorry. Give me one sec. Okay, so I will now be discussing like how we help, how the Automation Center of Excellence in the Philippines, Accenture, helped a Swiss luxury brand. So this is one project that I know because I was the one involved here. So I even went to Geneva to be able to sell and talk to the client na, okay, if you want us to automate, can you just have Philippines develop this automation? So the problem, okay? The problem of the client is they have a very complex SAP application, okay? So the application that they have, it is being automated by a different vendor, okay, by a different company. So the automation tool that they use is Worksoft Certified, integrated with Solman. Solman is Solution Manager, which is specific for SAP. Okay, but they are having issues on automating web applications. Okay, because they wanted to test an end-to-end script wherein the user will order a luxury item online using web. That order should flow through once you submit the order to their SAP application. Okay, that SAP application should process whatever the order is and then return back to the buyer or to the customer the order number and the delivery details of what he ordered. Okay, so it's a web application integrating to SAP creating the stuff, processing the orders, and then throwing it back to the web application. So the tool that they're using is Worksoft, right? it's working fine on SAP, but it has problem on the web application. So they talked to me and asked me, can you help us with this? So we helped them, okay? We told them, I have people who are working on Worksoft, Tosca, okay? And we can deploy people in pairs. One functional tester or SAP functional SME and one automation. Okay, so they created these automated scripts. Okay, before they were using Worksoft, they wanted to move to Tosca. Okay, and we established our test. So what was the result of that thing? Okay, so before this previous vendor, can you mute? So we have this previous vendor, which is uh, that we took over with. Okay, they were developing scripts 80 days. Imagine almost 3 months for you to develop scripts. Okay, because Accenture Philippines has the best practices, we used this approach of pair. We are able to bring down the delivery to just 7 to 10 days. Okay. So before they were executing a script, 8 days nilang ine-execute. Automated script. It was running 8 days. We were able to create that one and fix that one to just 9 minutes na lang. You see, like because of the things that we did, 8 days, now it's just 9 minutes. Okay? And every month we were giving them 25 new test scripts, and there were more than like 200 reusable test blocks because we were asking them like, you need to be making reusable. Okay? So what are the next things? Sorry. What are the next things that we would be automating? Okay, big data testing, that's the next item that we would be automating. How do we automate data? Okay, AI or artificial intelligence testing, that is going to be something in the future that would be in place. Blockchain testing, or what is behind crypto currency, it's under the blockchain testing. That's the next automation thing that we're going to be automating. Okay, so that is the last slide. I'm now opening the floor for questions. I'll stop sharing. Questions? I have. Sorry. Do you have questions on the chat or anything?
All right. Meron ba kayong questions? You can unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can simply send it via the chat box. Or you can click the raise hand button so we would know that you have a question. Come on, this is the best time to ask a question, no? While Sir Nonel is still here, doing this, having this session with you. If you have, questions about automation testing, or, even about his career. He's been in Accenture for 15 years. Maybe for our graduating students, you would want to know, what made Sir Nonel stay in Accenture for a long time, how he started his, career in technology years ago. Maybe that's something you would also want to know, no?
Any questions? Ang tahimik ng batch.
Oo, ang tahimik. Did you understand ba the session? Or maybe you guys are shy lang. If you find the session very insightful, maybe you can share naman some smiling emoji in the chat box so Sir Nonel would know that you guys are still in the room.
Baka tulog na.
Baka tulog na kayo. Ang daming coverage ni Sir Nonel earlier.
Thank you, thank you. Yan, gising pa sila.
Ayan, naka-smiley face naman, sir. So, andyan pa sila. Baka shy lang.
Yeah.
Any questions? Or Sir Nonel, maybe you can share insights on your parang career while baka nag-iisip pa sila about automation.
Yeah, so I graduated ComSci, similar probably to most of you here, IT. When I was in college, wala pa kasing IT, it was still CS. Okay, hindi ako bata. Kaya puti na yung buhok ko. But yeah, I started my career in Accenture 2006, and I wasn't part of the testing. I was a Java developer when I started. Okay, and 3 years I started in Java until sabi ko ayaw ko na mag Java, ayaw ko na masakit sa loob mag Java kasi ito. Anyone who loves Java, raise your hand. Or everyone who loves Java, magpuso-puso. You see sad face, diba? Favorite subject ko pa ang Java, yes or no? Dot sila. O yung iba hindi, yung iba gusto. So, Java kasi medyo mahirap, tama? But I had to really understand Java because that's my job. Okay? And in Accenture, the good thing is there were trainings. Okay? We underwent a 1-month Java developer school. Okay? There were like preparatory things. Okay? So what we did is after doing Java, I moved to testing. And ever since, my career has been automation. Okay, the automation career path has really made me go places. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, I went to Switzerland. I had to do automation there, present automation. Then from Switzerland, I had to go to France. So I was able to go travel to Europe for free because Accenture and the client paid for it. I went to an onshore opportunity in Germany for 1 month because I had to do automation assessment there because the clients now or the projects now really they all like you in your classes, right? You're expected to do programming exercises, right? You develop this, you develop that, you create the system, your instructor will be telling you that, right? But you are spending more time in development, less on testing. So when the final presentation to your instructor comes in, the application suddenly errors, bugs out, defect, etc. It's because it was not properly tested. Right? So you really need to do testing on your application. Okay? You really need to spend time in doing application. Okay? So that's the thing. That's testing. Hopefully, I will see you soon in Accenture, right? And be part of the capability. Right? How hard is the Selenium IDE to test the web? Okay, so if you're okay, if you have a good Java background, again, the Java background is just standard edition, not the enterprise edition. If you have a good background on Java standard edition, it should be easy to test web applications. Okay, I'll give you one happy thing that happened. Okay, we have applications or games on the web. Okay, we have applications or games in the web. Okay, the problem is, alam niyo yung farm bill. Inabutan niyo pa ba yung farm bill? O mga bata na masyado to hindi nila alam ang farm bill. Di ba may mga laro sa web? Okay? Tapos, on that game, every 4 hours, every 8 hours, you have to harvest. You have to harvest, right? Because if you do not harvest, mag-wither. Right? Kailangan mo mag-harvest so that tumas yung XP mo and level mo. Okay? Ako at saka yung friend ko, pareho kami ng level. Like, halimbawa, level 14, papasok kami sa umaga sa office, eh hindi naman kami pwede mag-Facebook sa office. Bawal ang Facebook, so bawal ang ibang website sa office. So, pareho kami level 14, alam ko. Pag-uwi namin, nakikita ko siya level 17 na, ako level 14 pa rin. Yun pala, in-automate niya yung laro. Kahit nasa office kami, every 4 hours magra-run yung laro para mag-plant at saka mag-harvest using Selenium. Okay? So I think it's easy to set up that one. Again, on the online, like YouTube videos and like online, there are many communities on that open source community that you can uh, use to set up and eventually learn how to test the web. Okay. Um, what else? Selenium is the new IDE po. Yeah. So Selenium, the two items, it's either Selenium Java or Selenium C Sharp. So you can use either of the two. Any other questions? Still have time. I know it's Friday, right? TGIF think that it's Friday, but I'm happy spending time here. Keep you, in your opinion, what are the most important qualities of today's successful leaders, especially in Accenture? Okay, the most important qualities of today's leaders is, of course, being compassionate and taking care of our employees. Okay, so Accenture, I know in this pandemic thing, right? There are so many things that happen. There are so many issues, especially on like some people having hard time in terms of like adjusting to the work environment because you need to go at home, right? So, but for us, it's a good thing that Accenture and it's in the newspapers anyway, right? That Accenture has really been helping our employees cope with the situation, right? Supporting us with all the different things, even like the what you call this one, being able to enable us in the laptop needs, right? Like in 1 month, all of us already have our own laptop so we can continue working from home, right? All of us were like given COVID packs, etc. So maybe you have friends who are working in Accenture, they have posted that one in social media. So those are the things. You should you should have good leaders who will take care, most importantly, of the people. Okay, so that's the good thing in Accenture. I hope I answered your question, Jan. Right? Is ASP.NET good for web development? So ASP.NET is good, right? It's one of the, well, it's not the new ones because it's been there. ASP.NET it's already been there. In Accenture, it's good because we do have an Avanade community. Okay, we do have an Avanade capability specifically for Microsoft. So ASP.NET is part of that one. Okay. Any other questions? There are instances that you tested very carefully, but a bug suddenly occurred. I always believe that there is no such thing as a perfect application. Okay, there would always be bugs. Okay, even if I have tested it 100%, on the final testing, there would always be something that you might have missed. Similar to you, when you do your thesis on your fourth year and then you have to create that application, you have tested everything, but I don't know, pagdating dun sa final presentation ng thesis, may biglang mali, right? Reason is because there are scenarios that we missed to test. Okay, so one tip, okay, for especially for those graduating resources, one tip: if you want your programs, your special projects to be tested, your thesis, your program applications to be tested, have it tested by someone who is non-IT. Bigay mo sa kanya, pabayaan mo paglaruan niya, i-click yan ng i-click kung ano man, as in like, pabayaan mo siyang laruan niya yun. If your application is working as expected, that means you have a good system, right? But if your application is like bugging, lashing, then that's the problem. Don't tell that person how to test it. Just give him access to that application. Let him test it. Okay? Paglaruan niya yung system niya para lumabas yung mga defects. Okay? Question, does it work in C# also on Selenium ID? The answer, Revi, yes, it works. Selenium C#, Selenium Java, it works, both. Okay, anything else? I'm familiar with thesis because when I was in the academy before, sa STI kasi ako dati nagturo, nag-Accenture for 7 years. One of my job is thesis paneling. Okay, so nagta-panel ako ng thesis kaya alam ko yung hinahanap ko at paano natin malalaman kung ano yung defects ng system. Okay. Any other questions? All good. I am in LinkedIn. If in case you have LinkedIn, so I would push you to create your LinkedIn accounts, even if you're still students. Okay. LinkedIn, this is like social media for professionals. Okay, given that you will be graduating soon, go check, create your LinkedIn account. I am in LinkedIn. You can search for my name. There is questions under doon. And LinkedIn also has this different connections so that you will know the latest in technology. The latest in Accenture Philippines has their own LinkedIn account. Okay, last one. What advice have you have students who want to work in Accenture for IT industry after graduation? Okay, first of all, we do have the Cebu office, right? We have the Cebu office. Hopefully, it's not pandemic, but Revi, you can probably share later on, right? Like where can they drop their email or where can they log in, right? You would be sharing that one, Revi, later.
Yeah, I am actually sharing the link to our campus landing page so you would know more about our career opportunities and campus programs. So you can visit and send your resume via this link. That's www.accenture.com/ph students. And also, Nonel, I just want to quickly share. I know we have third year students here, but most of our fourth years from the CS and IT group are currently part of our Accenture Technology Learning Program. So they're going through a 20-day, actually it's a 360-hour training, Java, Fed and Bed training. So most of our fourth years. So for those of you who are going through ATLP right now, can you share a happy smiley emoji so Nona would know that you're part of the Accenture Technology Learning Program? So that program, Nonel, after the program, students who complete the Accenture Technology Learning Program will be endorsed to hiring. The initial assessment will be waived. They will immediately be endorsed to interview, and then if they pass, then a job offer will be made. So that's one way. That's one way to, of course, work in Accenture, join our campus programs. Ayan.
Yeah. Accenture was my dream company, sabi ko sa inyo kanina. It's my company and I would love Accenture. Right? So that's why I'm here 15 years already and growing.
Such an inspiration. Super long, 15 years.
And Rexy, I got my loyalty bonus in 15 years.
Magkano yun? Magkano? Secret.
Accenture's very good. I know in Cebu, so I love Cebu. Before the lockdown last year, I was in Accenture Cebu. That was the last travel ko because I have testers in Cebu, so I have to like visit them every year. Unfortunately, this year I cannot because of the pandemic, but hopefully, ano, correct me if I'm wrong if I'm going to tell this, mubalik man ako sa
Cebu, tama.
Suri-suri og maglakaw-lakaw. Is that
Uy, yes, that's correct. Di ka makidnap dinhi kay kamabang ka magbisaya.
yeah, And if there's anyone from Bolhoon, I always stay at Bolhoon.
Mm. Ayan.
Yan.
Anything else, dear students? Do you have anything else for Nonel before we wrap up the session with the photo op? Maybe one last question. Um, wala na. Tapos nagpatong, how do I start my career in software testing or what is the learning path?
Okay. The software testing, you need to have good analytical skills. Okay. Because again, we're not really going to be developers, right? But we need to have analytical skills because
So, Nonel, nag-freeze
lagi
ka. Sorry, naka-freeze ka.
nawala ako.
Nawala ka. Yes, right now you're back.
Now it's thank you, Converge, good Lord. Analytical thinking, you should have that one. You should develop that. So when I said before I was cut, like testers and programmers, we are always magka-asot pusa. Okay, because testers see it this way, programmers only see it this way. Okay, so to start a career in testing, okay, be sure that you have good analytical skills, apply at Accenture, right? Pass the whatever exams or interviews, right? And then when you do the interview, tell them that you're interested in undergoing the testing career. So the testing career progression would be like you start as junior testers, then eventually senior testers, then eventually team leads, associate managers, eventually to managers, right? And senior managers like me. Okay.
Ayan, I think that's the last question already. Let's wrap up the session with a photo op. If you guys can you please turn on your video camera so we can take a picture? This is just to document the session. We will definitely ask for your consent if we decide to send this to our marketing team for marketing purposes. But right now, we will just be using this for documentation purposes. All right. Sige, we will wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to just turn on their video so that we can also see your faces. I know you guys are all excited to go out. Nights Friday. Ay, hindi pala kasi pandemic. Hindi pala tayo pwedeng